Today we're gonna make a summer zucchini soup. This is a classic Italian dish. This is a great one if you have a big abundance of zucchini and you don't know what to do with it. Let's get into it right now. All right, guys, we're gonna go over the ingredients. We always like to go over the ingredients here so you guys can make the recipe perfectly every single time, and I also give you substitutes. Really quickly, this dish kind of is an adaptation of a Sicilian dish, a Sicilian soup that would be done with cacuzza. Cacuzza, they're very long, tremendous squash, get very heavy. Sometimes they go by gagoots, okay? Cacuzza, snake squash, I'm trying to think of any other names. They're kind of a pale green, and they have these leaves and shoots on it called tenerumi, and you use those in the soup as well. So we don't have that type of squash or those shoots today, so we'll use a little bit more herbs, and we're gonna use regular old zucchini that you can find anywhere. So what I did was I cut regular zucchini into little cubes here, and I took about 6 of them. How much do I have exactly there? I have about that much, which is probably about 5 cups worth, maybe 4 cups worth. You can really use as much or as little as you like here. I took like 1 large onion, though the recipe calls for a medium onion, and I diced it. Since I have probably a little bit more zucchini, I used a little bit more onion. I did 6 cloves of garlic. I kind of chopped it up and kind of like imitating how my grandmother would do it. And this was her recipe that she probably made hundreds of times for us when we were kids. Always was making this. This one and spaghetti Romano, though she didn't call it Romano. I took a half a 28-ounce can of plum tomatoes, so left about 14, 15 ounces, hand crushed those. We're gonna have extra virgin olive oil in here. We have a half a pound of spaghetti, and we're gonna break it into little pieces. This recipe is almost always done with broken spaghetti, and I've seen other people make it online and stuff, and it's typically always done that way. Though if you don't wanna do that, you could use any type of pasta you like, small pasta, I would say. We have parsley, and I got garden basil already, so you can see how beautiful my basil looks and versus how pathetic my parsley looks that I got from the store. That kind of just, I don't even think it was good when I purchased it. So let's get into making this delicious zucchini soup right now. So I showed you prepping all the other ingredients. The last one is spaghetti here. So I just have a half pound, I didn't weigh it. You don't have to be exact with any of this stuff here. All we're gonna do is break this into little pieces. Now, don't try to grab the whole pound or you won't be able to do this. I was telling Tara the other day, we started the podcast, Sip and Feast podcast. If you guys go watch it. We talk about this soup a lot in it. And I was saying one of the memories I have always is my grandmother, especially near the end before she died. I would always remember one of the last things was that she would always be breaking this pasta, the spaghetti, and I remember she was like squeezing it and could barely do it. So since I'm a little younger and a little stronger still, I can do it relatively easily. So try to get the pieces as small as you can, though you don't have to be exact. You don't have to be exact with any of this type of food. All right, I have a large Dutch oven. You do not need something this large. Definitely not for the recipe. I'm making a little bit more zucchini for my version because we're gonna eat this for dinner tonight, which we do with all the food I make here, guys. This is real life. This is a real kitchen too. A lot of you guys have been saying this is a fake door. It's not a fake door. I mean, it's a real door. It's a real window over there too. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this to a little bit less than medium, about a 4 out of 10. I'm coating the bottom here, a lot of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil I'm using, about 5-6 tablespoons, or coat the bottom amount. If you cook to the gram and to the micro measurement, you will be a boring person forever. You will be, okay? What we can also do, we can put a little sprinkle of salt there, which will help release some of the water a little quicker from those onions. But we don't want to burn them, okay? We just want to soften these, cook them till they're translucent. All right, so there's those onions. They're getting soft. We could put our garlic in and let this cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until the garlic gets nice and fragrant here in the oil. You know, if you think you don't have enough oil in here, say like you didn't follow your gut and put enough in, just add some more now. But also at the end when we serve it, we're gonna add more really good extra virgin on top and a nice hefty amount of cheese. So I've got a block of Pecorino right there. So I'm smelling that garlic. We're gonna let this go for a couple more minutes. Okay guys, so I would say those onions initially went for about 6 minutes, then the garlic went in for another 3 minutes. You can see how everything is really soft Really fragrant, really good. Give yourself enough time when you're doing the onion and the garlic. It's really like the main base, like it's everything to this soup. So I got some red pepper here. Gonna put in about that much, which is about maybe I'll do a little bit more. So I'll do like maybe a half. I think the recipe calls for a quarter. Do that to taste. Do it to what you like. All right, we'll let this go in the oil for about 20 seconds just to permeate that oil. So here's our weighed to the microgram zucchini, and we're gonna put this in right now. Let's let this go for about another 8 minutes. Give it time, just keep stirring it so it doesn't stick. If you find you need a little bit more olive oil here, just add it in. All right, but you got your wooden spoon and you're just kind of just moving it around. We're just gonna let these get a little bit soft before we add in our liquid. So it's been like 8 minutes, and guys, ultimately, you know, you can see how much zucchini is in here. A big part of this dish is gonna be whether you have good zucchini or not. And if you grow your own zucchini, they're gonna be better. They just are. The nice thing about zucchini is that the zucchini you can eat raw. So cooking it here is simply to get the right texture, so the amount of softness we want. And that's honestly, it's personal preference. You can really cook this for a long time, or you can cook it shorter. The same thing goes for like, this is a vegetarian dish. Well, we're gonna put some cheese on at the end, but for the most part it's a vegetarian dish. If you want to start with a little pancetta, guanciale, or anything like that, that would be great, or a little crumbled sausage. You could really make a much more substantial meal here. You could add beans too, or potatoes instead of the pasta, or with the pasta. There's a lot of different things you can do. So we have our basically half of a 28-ounce can of tomatoes that we crushed. Be careful pouring this thing in. It's got a bad spout, so just go really slow. So we're gonna cook this for a couple minutes with the tomato here. And you know, if you're looking around and you're like, oh, Jim, you don't have enough tomato, or Bob or Sally or whoever you are cooking it right now, if you don't like the amount of tomato, just add more. I still have the other half of the can right there. I could. But you know, it's kind of like a little bit low on the tomato. Predominant flavor is that zucchini and the garlic and the onion mixture together. And then with the really nice fresh herbs at the end. This just smell of this just brings back memories to when I was young. Oh yeah, and I forgot, I should have seasoned that zucchini up a little bit before I put the tomatoes in, but I'll just do it now. We'll keep seasoning as we go. We'll season later too. Okay, so that's been going for about 3 more minutes. Put a little bit of pepper on there. I think I put some more on. A lot of black pepper. You can put more of the hot red pepper flakes. Really a kind of a blank canvas soup here. It's really, you know, just a zucchini flavor. In the same container that had our tomatoes, I put 6 cups of water here. I'm just using water, that's it. This is how my grandmother always made it. It's how I'm making it. Okay, if you want to use chicken stock, go for it. Let's do a very light pour so it doesn't spill everywhere. Wooden spoon right here. This will just be able to remove any bits. So I'm just gonna turn this up to a boil. Once it's boiling, we'll lower it down to a simmer. Okay, so just scrape anything, see if you can feel anything. Nothing really there. You know, you could have deglazed this with white wine if you wanted that punch, and that's really good too. It's probably one of the few dishes I'm not using white wine in. So at this time, now bring your water to a boil, salted water, 2 tablespoons per gallon of water, 1.5% salinity, and cook that pasta until like a minute less than al dente. So just keep it a little on the hard side, all right? So it came up to a boil. I'm still waiting for my water to boil for my broken spaghetti. So you could just test it for texture, like just put your fork in it if it's soft enough for you, or just take a bite of a piece. That's the best way to tell. That's good zucchini. All right, so I'm fine with that texture now, so I'm gonna lower this to a simmer. So about a 3 out of 10. Just wanna go to a low simmer. All right, it's gonna take a couple minutes to come down. You can just let it go like this now while we're waiting for the water to boil for the pasta. If for some reason you want to take an immersion blender to this to thicken it up, you can do that too. But I really like it just like this. All right, guys, pasta is probably a little bit stiffer than I would normally do it because we would just be eating it right away. But because I'm making a video for you, we're gonna eat this probably about 2 hours from now. So you don't even need to go nuts draining it because most likely you might need a little bit more liquid in here. And if you do need more liquid, just use some of your pasta water that you have right here. So it's good. Everything's good here. Let's turn this off. We gotta season this up, add our herbs, and then get the taste testers down. Okay, I just chopped up that parsley. Actually smells really good, that parsley. So I didn't do a really heavy mince. I want some texture in it. And then I have all my nice basil leaves, and you can just kind of tear them, or you can cut them up if you want. You do it whichever way you like. I just love all this green in here, guys. I know you're probably like thinking like, what are you doing, Jim? How much herbs are you gonna put in there? I'm gonna put in as much herbs as I want. That's what I'm gonna do, all right? You need it here, all right? This is that final just blast of flavor. Really good, really fresh. Needs more salt. So I'm gonna put a hefty amount of salt. You know, there's 6 cups of water I add in there, guys. So no matter how much salt and seasoning you put on that zucchini initially, and everything is really flavorful, you're adding 6 cups of water then. So you have to remember that with your seasoning. I'm actually gonna just put a little bit more of that hot red pepper in there too. And I'm gonna put in black pepper because I'm crazy. All right, so let's serve this up. I'll show you how to serve it up, and we'll bring the taste testers down. I said taste testers, but I really meant one taste tester because the real taste tester, the official taste tester, is a little tired from his basketball game.
He's in the shower too.
He's in the shower?
He had a good game, but he was tired.
Yeah, so you're gonna be the taste tester. The cheese hardened up, the pecorino, just like in cacio e pepe, like turned into like clumps, but no, you can put more on.
It's really good.
So what do you think? You know, let us know.
I feel like this is a really healthy soup.
Yeah.
First of all, it's like got the perfect amount of salt in it. Like whatever you did.
I had to add a lot at the end.
Is really good because I don't like stuff that's over salted. So for me, it's perfect. I love the fresh herbs, the parsley, the basil. This tastes to me like something straight out of a garden. You know, when you have like clear broths like this, for me, I just feel like it's more nourishing. Like it helps your body do what your body's supposed to do, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. I mean, and honestly, if you want a better, maybe more flavorful broth, take your garden scraps, anything, and make a vegetable stock with it. No, or just use chicken stock. Or this obviously isn't a vegetarian or vegan channel, but this dish qualifies, you know, if you get rid of the cheese.
If you get rid of the cheese, it's vegan, but it's really good. I love it. I mean, for me, this is like the soup that you could have really all summer.
It's like you made it's almost like a zucchini stock gets made from it.
Yep. And I really do. I know I asked you earlier, like, could you have this at room temperature or chilled? And I feel like you definitely could. Maybe not chilled, but I don't know. I could see myself going for this a little bit later once it's cooled down and just
cool down. If you chilled it, all the oil would raise to the top, and there's a lot of oil in it. Like you can see the oil inside the liquid there.
It's delicious.
So what does it get?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Well, thank you.
Because I think it's really good.
It just needs a lot of cheese and bread. Bread, that's another missing component that we just don't have.
You know, once you start adding stuff to it like that, I think it kind of will make it less of like that healthy taste. But I think to maybe improve it a little bit, first of all, I would add a lot more hot red pepper flakes because I think it's a little bit spicy. I even think maybe some Calabrian chili oil or chili paste could bring it up to a 10.
Or anchovies too, which would be Sicilian also.
Yeah, anchovies for sure would bring it up to a 10. And of course, you know, a little heel of bread would be.
Or sausage would be great in it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Use this as a canvas. Make it. We hope you enjoy it. And we will see you next time.
Yep.